Hare Krishna. Namaste. Chapter 5, entitled as Karma Sannyasa Yogam. Sloka 19. Ihaiva tair sargo yeṣāṁ sāmye sthitāṁ manaḥ nirdoṣaṁ hi samaṁ brahma tasmād brahmaṇi sthitaḥ. What we saw in the previous sloka is about samadarshanaha, equanimity, which is perceiving all selves as equal. In today's sloka, it mentions that stage of samadarshanaha, equanimity, can be achieved even during the time of one's practice while living in this body. Doesn't need to wait until the end. Let's see the word by word meaning. Yeṣāṁ, those sages whose manaḥ, mind, sāmye, in equanimity, sthitaṁ, situated. Sāmye sthitaṁ means is established in the truth of all selves being equal. Tair, by them. Iha, in this life. Eva, certainly. Sargo, birth and death. Jitaḥ, conquered. Sargo jitaḥ, sargo jitaḥ, the samsara is conquered. Nirdoṣaṁ, flawless or free from defects. Samaṁ, in equanimity, that is, the essential nature of the self is equal in all. Brahmaṇi is certainly Brahman, the Supreme. Tasmād, therefore, brahmaṇi, in the Supreme. They, sthitaḥ, or situated. The translation is, those whose minds are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. They are flawless like Brahman, and thus they are already situated in Brahman. Perceiving the sameness of Atma is not just something that one gets it at the end of their practices as a goal. What has been told here is, it is attained even while one is still practicing. In other words, those who perceive the sameness of selves in the manner said so far in the previous slokas overcome samsara even while engaged in perceiving the means. yeṣāṁ sāmye sthitaṁ manaḥ, one who sees oneself as Atma and sees everyone as Atma has conquered this samsara. Samsara means this material world or the place where birth and death happens continuously. Such person is said to be in the state of Brahman because he doesn't see the differences caused by the material body and he sees every living entity as Atma. Sargo, which has been used here, means samsara. One should not interpret this as sargo means creation. Jita sargo, one is said to have victory over the samsara when one is fully fixed in Atma, but not in the material things, not in the differences that one sees through the body. The reason that Atma is called as Brahman, because first thing is it is pure by nature, and also this person understands the purity of Atma. Second, it becomes unconnected. One becomes unconnected with Prakriti. Even while living in the samsara, we saw this in the 10th sloka of this chapter, Padma Patram Ivambasa, as the lotus leaf is untouched by water. Though this person lives in this world, but is not connected to the Prakriti, like the lotus leaf. The third point is the Lord, who's Brahman, is flawless because he is without attraction or hatred. Similarly, this person is also flawless. Therefore, this person or the Atma is mentioned here as Brahman. Doṣaṁ means faults or defects. Nirdoṣaṁ means without defects, that is flawless. The fault that is being mentioned here is one getting affected by the dualities and differences that they see in this world. A person who is not affected and sees the difference are free of such faults, nirdoṣaṁ. When we see everyone is Atma, as Atma, and everyone is part of God, and God is present in everyone's heart, then where is the question of one is greater than the other? This person is great and that person is lower. And where is the question of one person being beautiful, another person being ugly? And where is the question of one being black, another one is being white? And where is the question of I'm Indian, American, Chinese, whatever it may be? As long as this wisdom of Gita is not taught to the world, we will continue seeing people fighting among each other. We should know that no other religion has permanent solution to the world other than what has been offered by Gita through our Sanatana Dharma. Other religion speaks how one should be good to others, treat everyone equally, and etc. Many nice good things. But there is no foundation to such teachings how to treat everyone equal, on what basis. Whereas Sanatana Dharma has the highest teaching it could offer to the world. It not just says one human should treat the other human equally. It says one should treat every living entity equally, irrespective of that is human or non-human. Whereas other religions say, when they say treat others as you would like to be treated, or everyone are brothers and sisters, it is clear they discuss only on the human platform. They do not include other beings. Whereas Bhagavad Gita goes beyond these basics, giving clear facts how one should treat others and how one can see everyone equal, equanimity. Also, when it comes to treating others, Krishna's advice is not that be joyful when someone makes some achievements in their life, or become sad when you see others going through some suffering. If we start applying things in that way, then we ended up being either crying all the time or in joy all the time for others' achievements and problems. Or we'll be in mix of both all the time, thinking about others. There will be no spiritual progress for ourselves. Again, this doesn't mean to be selfish, that's not what it is. It is to start focusing inward first. Think about oneself first on their spiritual journey. then what Krishna means to say is that how you don't feel joyful when someone gets treasure, feel the same way when you get the treasure. Likewise, how you don't get affected or become sad when you hear the news of people dying due to some disease, be the same way when you get diseased. This is how we need to understand Krishna's message or teaching to apply to ourselves. And that doesn't mean to say we should not care for others. That's not what the message is. The message is to see ourselves as Atma. The body is temporary. We are not this body. And how do we come to that realization? By applying the same mood that we would apply for others. If someone finds a new job or promotion, it doesn't affect me. If someone loses job, that doesn't affect me. Likewise, when I get a promotion, I get a job, that shouldn't affect me. When I lose a job or something happens, that shouldn't affect me. That's how Krishna is asking us to apply in one's life. Nirdoṣaṁ hi samaṁ brahma. When one is free from the bodily identification, one becomes equal to Brahma, the Supreme Lord. When we say equal, please remember the reasons mentioned earlier. That is, he becomes unconnected to the samsara and not affected by the attraction and hatred that caused by the body and mind. Whereas a person who has doṣaṁ, the faults, can never realize oneself to be Brahma, or one can realize the Supreme Lord as Brahman, as long one is conditioned with the bodily identification. Samaṁ Brahma. Also, we should be very clear by now that this does not mean to say that one becomes God, or one merges into God, or one becomes a second God, equal to God. Those are not the ideas at all in this sloka. So, to summarize, equanimity of mind, as mentioned here, is a sign of self-realization. Those who have attained to such a stage should be considered to have conquered material condition. What are the material conditions? Those are the birth and death. As long as one identifies with this body, then he is considered to be a conditioned soul, Baddhatma. But as soon as he is elevated to the stage of equanimity through realization of self, he is liberated from conditioned life, Muktatma. The liberated soul doesn't mean that one leaves his body. It means that one is considered to be a liberated soul because a person has realized. Because he is no longer subjected to take birth in material world after he leaves the body, and would enter the spiritual world after his departure. Such persons are to be considered already liberated. Ihaiva tair jitaḥ sargo yeṣāṁ sāmye sthitāṁ manaḥ nirdoṣaṁ hi samaṁ brahma tasmād brahmaṇi te sthitaḥ. Namaste. Hare Krishna.